from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut shops of Westfield and the Sardina family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Try that again. Wow. It's Tuesday. There we go. Oh, my gosh.
Tuesday, July 2nd.
Yeah, wow. It's Tuesday, July 2nd. And you didn't hear, we got cut off at the beginning there.
Happy birthday, America, by the way.
Oh, it's July 2nd.
Right. This is the real birthday of
the real
Is it really?
Yeah, it
yeah.
is.
Oh, Peter. Yes, there.
You can
yeah.
still hear me. I have a microphone back here, Bob. I'm not totally isolated from the
Hey,
world.
everyone. Hi. May I introduce you to the man behind the hard drive? This is the guy that was sitting there beside me all this time. Now you can see. Look at this on Channel 15. I'm going to look right. See, if we look at the camera there, then you can't. Oh, there. Okay, now I'm looking at you. See?
You stop freaking out.
I'm all confused. There is my friend Jay Pagluka, and we are now here at ensconced at Westfield Technical Academy.
Ensconced?
Ensconced.
Studio 120.
Studio 120. It's actually really lovely. And if, as you noticed, we there's a beach out
Actually,
here.
Bob,
This is the Westfield River out here, and we had a palm tree planted.
I have something especially for you.
You do?
Ready?
Okay. Oh my gosh! Look,
You'll
we're
feel right
sitting,
at home, Bob.
We're sitting on the stage of the Colonial Theater in Pittsfield.
No, actually, it's a theater in Great Britain.
I love it. I love it.
He put us across the pond.
Yeah. Yes, exactly right. So look at
For those of you that are wondering what the heck we're talking about, if you're not watching on Channel 15 or on the internet, we're over at Westfield Technical Academy's new Studio 120, or as it's been here for how long? We've been here now, Pete?
Well, this is the second day, official day, but yeah.
No, but you've had the studio here built, what, a year ago, right?
It's been in operation for about 6-8 months. Yeah. Maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And now we're officially over here, and it gives us a few more bells and whistles.
Well,
to
we
work
have
with.
3 cameras. If we had cameramen, they could be shooting us every angle. We could have every angle of ourselves shot.
And if you and I had blue shirts on, we could be floating.
We could be
heads.
floating
yes,
heads.
We'll work on that.
That's exactly
down
right.
the road.
This is my trusty, dusty, lusty, musty, crusty, and well-modulated sidekick in person, the one and only Jay Pagluka. And over there, which is not across the board from us any longer.
I'm gonna run over.
He's over there. Is Peter Coles? He's behind glass.
Wait, I have an idea.
Yeah.
I'm
What?
working on getting it so that I can move out there with you guys and run everything completely remotely.
You just saw Jay go into this. Oh, look at this. Oh, now we've got Jay Pagluka.
You can't see me because I'm behind the monitors. I'm not taking a shot of monitors, Jay.
Oh, okay. There are monitors here. We've got a huge 6:03 clock over there that tells us the time. We're looking out at beautiful green trees and a parking lot, but I can watch my car in case any burglars come. And we're looking out at a field. What is that? Is that a tennis court
That's
out there?
Yackham Field.
Yackham Field.
Yeah, it's a baseball field, Bob.
Oh, okay. All right.
They do baseball there.
Uh-huh. Hey, speaking of baseball, our friend Jason Poland is working on the Pumpkin Fest with us, was over in England this weekend for the Red Sox-Yankees game.
Oh, was he
Games.
helping with that?
Yeah,
a
he did
snoozer that was.
he did the outside big hoopla stuff on
The
the
fan
outside
fest?
of the
Kinda
state.
cool.
Yes, yeah. And he had a great time apparently. But how did that end up? Did the Yankees win?
They won both games convincingly.
Both games.
Oh,
By a lot.
oh, really?
Yes, by a lot.
It was both games were very high scoring, which I thought was interesting. That there's nothing more boring, unless you're a fan of pitching. There's nothing more boring than a low or no score game. So at least there was a lot of action all during the game, and so people of Great Britain got a good, entertaining couple of games out there.
And they learned about baseball. I mean, it's,
Most Londoners didn't even know the game was happening. They did man-on-the-street interviews for Nesson.
Oh,
They
really?
didn't even know they were happening.
There's a cricket match.
Wow. Well, actually, there's a big. Isn't this World Cup time? Isn't World Cup
Everybody's
happening?
watching
Women's World
soccer,
Cup.
Yeah.
Women's World Cup.
Are we still in that? We're still in it, right?
I think we are, yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of women's soccer is doing really well. I heard on the radio today as well. We're playing London in another town, Lyon, France, today for women's soccer.
Lyon.
Lyon.
Yeah, this is the
Liam.
next round.
Yeah,
I thought it was Leon.
it's spelled with a Y, Jay. Lyon. Well, no, it's spelled with a Y and
Jay
an
is
O. and
uncouth.
an
What
N.
do you expect?
Yeah, no.
Uncouth?
Oh,
Yes.
no.
And for the record, normally people they don't see me. I'm usually hiding behind the tower that's
Yes,
in,
Wilson.
in the studio.
I
Yes,
asked
Wilson.
you. I asked as we
Yeah.
came in why you were wearing a tie. I thought you had some big thing to go to.
A shindig.
He does.
A shindig, and he
be right back,
does.
by the way.
Yeah, he probably does. But he said because of his debut on television.
This every morning,
Yeah,
folks.
yeah.
Usually I'm in a tux and a bow tie, and
And now I gotta figure out. Well, I didn't wear that last week, or if we were doing the show every day, we'd have to have a wardrobe person to make sure that we didn't sleep in our clothes.
Back in the day, there was a story, and I never knew the guy, but it was, this would have been in the 50s, early 60s, down in Connecticut, WTIC. There was
Yeah.
an on-air guy down there that wore a tux to the studio every day. When he was on
Every-
air, he always, the bow tie, the black tux, that was his outfit. This is for the radio. There was
Really?
there was no television, no cameras, no internet back then. So but he had to look good for the radio.
He
I always
had
thought
a-
that. I can't
it was
remember his name. I got to look that up.
Party in my mind. It wasn't Ivor Hugh, was it? I listened to Ivor Hugh for years while I was teaching at Holyoke Community. He would always be on when I was driving into the college, and and he always sounded. He was a British guy, and he. And so I always pictured him always dressed up. You see,
There was and that's like we hear the British accent. I think he's still up at the public radio station up at UMass.
Is there an English
WSDR.
person?
Well, an English I don't know what's the
Brit.
politically correct a Brit.
A Brit.
Is there a politically correct term for that?
Jeez, I don't remember a British voice on that the radio up there. But hey, did you also hear that? Let's see, NPR and WFCR. No, NPR and then public television WGBY are joining together. This is in the next 6 months. We're going to see around here are WGBY and WFCR joining for a bigger broadcast network. Or
They're already in
whatever.
the same building.
They're in the same building, but now they're going to be, and they're even changing the name of both. I think it's going to be New England Broadcasting, or
Well, it was New England Public Radio, WFCR, which was 5 College Radio.
Right.
They were rebranding themselves over the past year to New England Public Radio, and it doesn't surprise me because you've got the power of multiple networks, multiple studios working together. One of the things they're known for here in the Northeast is news, and it's
sure.
great news coverage. You're going to find there is on the radio better than anywhere else.
Yeah.
And WGBY had been associated with WGBH out of Boston,
Right.
which is a huge outfit. They're right off the turnpike there. Now, I don't know if that relationship is the same. I hadn't looked into that.
Yeah,
So it'll be
don't know.
interesting.
GBY was a subsidiary of GBH originally, and then they became their own entity after a while.
Yeah. I was. We were
But
there.
they're still basically part of the NPR mothership, anyways.
I was there last week. I think I talked about it in the air last
PBS.
week for the Jim Madigan tribute.
Oh,
They have a Jim Madigan scholarship.
Yes.
And so Lena, Jim's widow, and Jimmy, his Jim's son, and his fiance were there, and it was a lovely, lovely evening in tribute to him.
I have no doubt.
For a scholarship.
Yeah, we've had him-
They've
we've had
created
him
a
here on our
scholarship.
program. We've had him here. In
Oh,
studio.
Jim Madigan. And incidentally, for Westfield folks, I was telling the story to many people there about the idea that, I needed a Santa when we had the Santa house because our Santa the previous year was no longer going to be doing it, so I needed a Santa. And lo and behold, I ran into Lena and Jim at the Big Y, and
He made the mistake of looking at you for way too long.
That's right. And he said yes. And then as he walked away, this is what Lena told me. He said to him, she said to him, Jim, do you realize what you just signed up for? He said, yeah, to help out Westfield on weekends. And she said, yes, but you're going to be Santa Claus. Little did we know that Jim and children didn't feel that was a good mix. Well, it turned out that he was this wonderful, wonderful Santa Claus, and he refused to do it if it got out that he was Santa Claus, because he didn't want anyone to know that he was Santa Claus.
It's because it's.
Oh,
it's
gosh.
the thing you get in character.
Well, he was Santa's helper. Let's put it that
It's
way.
on Santa's helper.
Helper,
But
yeah.
you put the outfit on, you get into character, and it's like anything. You don't want to know. You don't want anyone to know the real person. behind
Well, very true. And Westfield had to go to the real North Pole, and he had to fly up, both he and Lena, to meet the real Santa Claus up in the North
You
Pole.
got training. You got to go through the training
The
session.
training, and I'm telling you, mucking those reindeers is something else. Out there, have you ever mucked a reindeer?
I'm not going there.
All right. At any rate, I had a great weekend. Incidentally, I had a wonderful time up there at the Berkshire Theater. We went up to see Into the Woods. I'll talk to you about that later with Mark Auerbach, who will be on. But we had a great little meal in Pittsfield. Have you been to Pittsfield for dinner or for
Yes.
lunch?
Well, I worked up
Yeah.
there for 20 years.
You did?
Berkshire County was my territory for 20 years. One of my
Oh.
my favorite 20 years in the business.
Is that right?
Yeah, we're up there. It was myself and I think 2 other guys that were working there at the time.
It's a really nice downtown. It's kind of like I wouldn't call it in the valley, but you're surrounded by mountains and stuff. And like us here in Westfield, they're trying to bring their downtown back, and they have a lot of the really big things that make a downtown great, including the Barrington Stage Theater and the Colonial Theater, 2 theaters that present live shows. What better than the
there's
place?
theater up and down the county, always
Yeah.
has been, and mostly summer theater, and that's because there's a lot of people that had vacation properties and would spend summers up there. When GE started to close in the 80s, that's when it kind of started to go downhill, and that was tough to recover from, because it's like, imagine imagine in the Hartford area, if Pratt and Whitney pulled out, that was the GE of Pittsfield.
Yes.
Up and down the county.
It dominated the city.
It did. Well, not just the city, but the whole county and into the hill towns. If you were, where I grew up outside of Hartford, I mean, I thought everybody worked for Pratt and Whitney. My dad did, so I thought everybody worked there. Well, kind of they did.
Mm-hmm.
Or you worked for somebody that supplied Pratt and Whitney.
Sure.
Well, around here, you think about, what I'm trying to think, what's the big...
Could it be H.B. Smith?
Smith
the
and Wesson
boilers?
in Springfield.
Well, Smith and Wesson. Everybody
that
seemed
kind
to
of
work
thing,
for Smith and Wesson.
Right, because you think
Actually, it'd
about
be
it.
like if you remove overnight remove the college from the city.
Yeah.
Oh,
the same
that's
type of
true. We
thing.
never really give the college credit as being one of the biggest employers
That's
here in
correct.
our town. We have a hospital system that is a big employer and a college. And then I wonder if next is Barnes Airport here in Westfield.
Probably not so much.
No?
No, it's really not.
The businesses that support it, there's a lot of small businesses, and that's one of the wonderful things about Westfield is all of the small businesses
Yeah.
that are here. And you don't work for the big corporation. You work for small businesses that support the big corporations.
That's
I
right.
suppose.
Well, Pittsfield has really learned how to do it. They've taken a department store downtown. It's a movie theater, and there's a great hotel. And there are some great restaurants. And I went to this, it looked like a bar to me. I went with Carol Palmer and Billy Cloutier and James. And Billy had selected this place called The Lantern. Well, it was just a normal bar.
It's been there forever.
Hey, you know it?
Yes, I do know it. It's like one of those things. It's like imagine
It's a fixture.
Yeah, imagine the Nook. That's Pittsfield's Nook.
Yeah.
Although maybe a step up, a small step up.
Well, it was beautifully
Yeah.
clean and stuff, but I thought, here I am.
Well,
it's
so is
it's
the
at
Nook.
11 o'clock in the morning, and we're sitting down, and I'm ordering a Guinness stout or an oatmeal stout, as it were.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, and so we had lunch, and the lunch in this bar, I had a beet gorgonzola frise salad.
Freezy?
Frise. Have you Peter?
No.
Somewhere up there, they have a tasty frise.
It's frise. It's sort of like light green curlicues. And
I don't like green.
I
on
know what
my
frise
ice cream.
is, but
yeah, it was delicious. And rather than, I was expecting we could only order a hamburger or something. It was a bar, and there's James
food,
and Billy and Carol had gourmet lunches.
That's kind
in
of
a
fun
bar.
when
I
you
mean,
find
like,
something
how
like that
cool.
unexpected.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things about the county is you would always find something up and down the county, from Williamstown to Great Barrington. You'd find unexpected little places like that.
So, well, I'm glad to know that the Lantern has been there forever, and I'll give them a shout out if you're ever up in Pittsfield and you want to check out. There's a whole variety of
new
bars
food-
and
our new
restaurants.
food
It's
critic
another
here, yeah.
it's another stop you could consider. So at any rate, hey, it's let me look. It's 6:16 in the morning, and our big
you have
clock.
a big clock here.
Yeah. Hey, and look, it tells the temperature.
yes.
Oh, okay. So we're 76 degrees. No wonder I had to take my shirt off here.
Excuse me.
Well, I didn't take it. I just opened
Bob.
the buttons up. I opened the buttons up. Hey, do you notice? Look, I'm getting thinner. Do you notice that I'm looking a little less?
Yes,
pregnant?
Bob, you're jacked.
Yeah. Well, stop. Is there any way that a 73-year-old can look like Charles Atlas?
If you're Jack
Ask
LaLanne,
Jack
yeah.
LaLanne.
If you're
yes.
Jack LaLanne, I guess that's exactly. If you're jacked, yeah. I'm running. Now I'm trying. I hate it. I'm going to tell you right now. Exercise is not fun. It really isn't fun, and I've guilted myself into exercising.
It's showing.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I was running. I was doing 20 minutes of cardio.
Then you
every day.
fell on your face.
I fell on my face, and then that. and see this.
So
I
look
can't-
for another hobby.
Oh, I get here. Wait a minute. There. Can you see it? Right.
No, we can't. He's trying to talk outside of the mic again.
You want me to go get a?
Yeah.
I'll go get
I'm
it for
sorry.
you.
Yeah. Here, I got to get rid of the mic for a minute. I'll show you my nose.
Okay.
1 second. There we are.
Go stand in front of the camera, Bob.
right there.
Oh boy.
Do I go and stand in front of the
No.
camera? No. Okay. So anyway,
The world does not need a close-up of Bob's face this morning.
no, please God, oh God, I have pores that you could swim in. Honest to God.
What?
Yeah. I have big pores. You know how some people have beautiful skin? I have these. They're like gullies or something.
Is that like a vibrato?
Don't be
a
staring at
vibrato
me now.
that
Yeah. Don't be staring at me, Jay. So get this. All right. So I didn't run for a month. I didn't do any. I didn't do any cardio for a month. And then suddenly I started to think, oh, God. I go to the doctor and my triglycerides are a bit high, so he recommends exercise. So, and fish oil. So I start taking the fish oil. I cut out potatoes and peas and all this other stuff.
What, you listen to the doctor?
Yeah, I know. I know.
How do you
I
enjoy
know.
dinner that way?
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm eating like so much fish, I feel like I'm on Cape Cod. And so I'm now running. But in order to get me to run again, I have to really every day. I guilt myself.
Why don't
I
you
go
power walk? Power walk. Bob.
Well, that's really what I suppose I'm doing. I was doing the power walk with the dog, and as everybody knows, I was walking the dog when I fell. So Frankie,
the
is
dog
not,
was walking you.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, nobody
So-
walks Frankie.
yeah,
Frankie
so-
walks you.
Yeah. So I now am walking alone, and I'm doing that thing. Now I'm on camera here on Channel 50. You know that thing with the hands that makes you look like you're churning butter or something. So I'm doing that.
6:20 at WSKB.
Yeah.
Westfield.
So here's what
And Channel
here's what I
15.
do. I get on the Hemicler Schlemiker, whatever thing that James bought that nobody uses. And I go on there for 1 minute, and it goes up and down and up and down. It gets my heart reading. And then I run out of the room, out of the house, onto the street, do the churning of the butter thing for 20 minutes, and that's that. But in order to get me there, oh, man, I'm telling you, I need people like you to call and say, Bob, if you don't do this, you're going to keel over tomorrow morning. And that's what gets me.
See, here's the problem with having me do that.
Yeah.
I'll get as far as, Bob, if you don't do this, no, I'd change it to, Bob, don't do this.
And then I'd go back to eating potato chips and let's have a big
That's what
hamburger.
I had last night for dinner, yeah.
Oh,
Potato
yeah.
chips on my hamburger.
Oh my gosh, summer in the city, boys, and
So he told you that story to tell you this story.
yes,
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes, summer in the city. You can see me down Broad Street and down all those side streets, fast walking. Oh, probably midday most days. So toot if you see the butter churner walking by. I am not crazed. Believe me, I am not crazed. So when I
Only slightly.
when you think of summer, there are a few songs that remind me of the summer better than Frank Sinatra's "Summer Wind." Do you know that song?
Yes.
"Summer Wind" was
The
actually
summer
written.
wind
It's a German song. It was
rolling
19.
in.
Yeah, it was written in
Don't
1965.
start singing.
Yeah, 1965.
It's only
It
tune I
was
could probably
written.
carry.
It was written by a German in 1965, and believe it or not, Johnny Mercer wrote new lyrics to it. It's about the Sirocco. Do you know what the Sirocco is?
Sirocco, it was a Volkswagen car.
You're absolutely right.
Scirocco.
Actually,
Oh, I
a
guess it's
desert-
yeah,
a
man.
desert
Guess it's
wing.
Scirocco.
oh, it's Scirocco. Scirocco.
Yeah.
S-C-R-Occo.
It's a wind that comes from the east or something in Europe during the summertime. So the song was around Scirocco. Johnny changed it to Summer Wind, and here it is, Frank Sinatra's Summer Wind.
Programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut shops of Westfield and the Sardina family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield. Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years. Specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
And just like that, we appear.
We
like
magically appear. Like we're in the.
And I could do that.
Oh, look at this! Oh, again, that's a head roll. It's exact. And is there any other? I'd love to be on a beach somewhere. I would really love to be on a beach.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Oh, there we are. Oh,
Now, I
Jay,
need to-
lay back and
we need
get that
to-
sun. You got your $70.
No, they'll try and push me back into the ocean. So the beached whale.
The beach whale.
Agawam Paranormal, Bobby G.
Yeah.
That's his background.
Oh, now that's nice.
Oh, there he is.
There,
Okay.
that's very
Okay.
nice.
It's well,
Yeah,
what was
we should
the
have like a
episode?
thing that says, "Wow, it's Tuesday, Westfield on weekends" or something.
If you send me an image, Bob, I'll make a background.
Okay,
for you.
or we could
How
have.
come, how come it looks like Bob has a static television behind him? That's
Because the chair
Wait,
has
I can
mesh
have
in and
one,
it's
too.
bleeding through.
I can have one.
Oh,
The chair has mesh in
It
it and
looks
it's
like an
bleeding
old,
through.
It looks like an old television.
There's
Look
nothing
at
I can
that.
do about that.
Yeah, it looks
That's
just
why
like
you're supposed
an old
to.
television.
That's why you're not supposed to sit side saddle, Bob. You're supposed to cover the chair
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we are.
because there's nothing I can do about that.
Oh
problem.
no, I thought it was kind of clever.
Oh, because it's
actually.
mesh. Some of the blue leaks through.
Well, what does it look like when we're in a theater? Yeah, this
you
is
already
great
saw
for all of you guys that aren't
Where-
watching us on
where else
television.
can- yeah,
incidentally.
right. It's boring. So Bob,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
else?
Oh,
is
there's
going
a
on
great
this morning.
I put Bob in a little warmer place.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I believe we've said something wrong.
There we are. Hey, we went to the opening to meet. Well, it wasn't an opening. The Amelia Park Ice Arena last week had a shindig for us to be able to meet the new manager.
I don't get
and-
invited to any of these
Yeah.
things, you know.
Oh, Peter, I'll take you as my son from now on. How about that?
Well, the first thing you need to do is you need special dispensation to get invited to Bob's house. Once that happens, now people
floodgates
recognize
will
you as
open up.
yes, people recognize you as an important. Sorry,
So the guy's name is Dan French. He's the executive director of the Amelia Park Ice Arena. They've got a PR director, community relations director, whose name is Christina Pagella. I'm going to meet her a little later this morning.
invite her to come on. Is she coming
Yeah,
on? with us?
no, I haven't, but I'd be glad
Yeah.
to. Yeah. You want her, or do you want her to be on your show?
Wherever we can
I'll
get
talk
her on the
to her
air.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I talked briefly, so she knows what we do over here.
Yeah, you were there that
Yeah.
evening, Peter. Everyone was there.
Apparently not.
No, not.
everyone.
Isn't it? Don't you hate that when somebody says to you, "Everyone was there," and you weren't there? You know?
no.
Yeah, I'm real happy about that, Bob.
Yeah, everyone was there.
I'm not everyone. Am
Oh
I?
gosh, but we had a great time, and they're planning all kinds of great things for the ice arena, so that's good. And a joint working relationship.
That's legal
with,
now.
That's absolutely. They're going to have these joint relationships with the Children's Museum and the Boys and Girls Club and the Amelia Park itself, and so it's right there in this children's campus, as I
That's
call
been
it. So-
evolving over the years.
Yeah, it
so
has.
it's
Yeah.
great to take it to the next step. Yeah.
Yeah. Friday night we went out up to East Heartland. Ever been to East Heartland?
I have. They have a huge folk festival there every year.
Really, Peter? You
The
actually
Heartland Folk
know-
Festival, yeah.
It's called the Heartland Folk Festival.
Yeah.
Oh.
We when I used to work for MPACT, which is Munson Palmer Cable Access.
Right.
We took our truck out there and did the whole festival. It's like 14, 15 hours long.
Well, we have discovered a great restaurant up there. It's called the Coach Stop. It used to be the Coach and Four or something, but it's the Coach
also
Stop.
a nice restaurant. We've been
Oh
there.
yeah,
Marion
you
and I
sit
have been there.
outside. There's
Yeah.
nothing better than to sit outside.
It's an old, they call it the Coach Stop because that was the old, it was
Coach
an old
Stop.
pub, and when people were traveling across that part of Connecticut.
That was a hard time because you have to go up mountains and everything to get to this. It's like at the top
This
of
is
the mountain.
Connecticut. They're not mountains. They're bumps.
Oh, they're bumps. The bumps of the Connecticut. The bumps of Connecticut.
I get a lot of grief from when I'm up in Vermont. Vermont does have mountains. That's the Green Mountains. The Berkshires have hills. Connecticut has a bump.
So, can answer this question because we're planning a trip to Scotland, and some of it is hilly, or mountainous, or as mountainous as Scotland gets. When you're planning a trip, and something is on the map, looks very close, 20 minutes away. Do you find like when you're in Vermont, 20 minutes away, it looks like 20 minutes away on that map, but it actually takes you 4 hours to get there?
That's because you can't get there from here.
Yeah. Do you find that in Vermont?
Well, yeah, because there's no highways. Well, there is. There's a couple of highways. You got 91 north and south, and then 89 going diagonally up to Burlington. And that's my usual route up through there. But my favorite time, if I can get out of Vermont early enough, and I'm in Burlington, I'll come down Route 100 by all the ski areas and stuff, or down Route 7. It's a long meandering road.
Yeah.
But if I'm not in a hurry, it's one of the best rides in the world.
Yeah.
Now,
When you go up to Vermont, when you're driving up there, give all of us a day trip from Westfield. Where do we go? Well, you know those towns up there. Where you like Burlington? Do you like Rutland? Do you like further up? What towns are good for you in Vermont?
Depends on what customer I'm going to visit.
Oh, I see.
remember, my purpose is business. I'm not going for pleasure. I try and mix a little in, but
Well,
I
you
enjoy
must.
the ride.
But
I enjoy
looking-
the ride.
Well, wow, this is like so charming. It's
one of my favorite scenes, if you will, and anybody that's been up there knows exactly what I'm talking about. As you get off 91 and onto 89 to head northeast up towards Montpelier, there is a scene to the left of the highway. It's actually to the southwest of the highway, which is a big rolling hill going up. Mm-hmm. Part of it's a big field, and there's little dots of houses up in there.
Oh.
And in the wintertime, the houses have lights on, and I'm up there before sunrise. So the houses have lights on, and it's snow-covered hill, and especially if it's after a fresh snow, it looks like a Norman Rockwell painting.
Really?
It's one of the most beautiful places in the world to me.
Montpelier?
It's not Montpelier. It's actually just south of White River Junction. But it's as you turn left onto 89, the junction of 89 and 91, and you're heading up north on 89. This is just to the south of the highway.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy cow, that's just beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the mountains up there, the mountain scenes that I love, especially in the wintertime. When you see the snow.
Well, that's one of the things that sold me on Westfield, because we drive up from New York City when we're living in New York, up to Westfield to visit Denny Akins over there on, where's he live?
Granville Road.
Granville Road. Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome.
And so we'd go over through Southwick, and all of a sudden you'd come to these farmlands. And we were, city people, and we'd go through these beautiful farms and, down near Chuck's Steakhouse and stuff. In the New Yorker's mind, this is really New England.
Any more green than 10 square feet is like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what we were. And then we would drive out toward Northampton, out of Westfield, and then you get up Southampton Road out near 7Bs, and then the road opens up and there's a horse farm, and you're going down, and there I feel like I'm in New England as well.
Don't take our area for granted. Enjoy as
That's true.
Take that the path you haven't been down before. If you're driving through the Berkshires, if you've never gone left before, go left, and you're going to find a very cool ride somewhere. You'll find places that are the most beautiful things in the world.
Yeah, I've been telling Peter to go left politically for years, and Peter, that's where you find the most beautiful people in the world.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey,
You find lots of left people in the Berkshires.
So we
That's
told you
true.
that story to tell you this story.
Yeah. Hey, 6:35 in the morning. It's going to be a beautiful week. It looks like, according to the weathercast, it looks like sun almost every day. I mean, there's very little rain, and it's funny. I just wrote to my college neighbor. He's in Washington, D.C. AJ is down there at Washington Center. He's the student that lives next door to me, and he was wondering about his house, whether it was being watched well, and et cetera, et cetera. So he's texting me, and I'm writing him back, and he's having a great time down there with Joe Corsi, his other roommate, and but learning an awful lot. But I said to him, we've had a cool, rainy summer. And then I texted it off, and then I thought to myself, is that correct? Do you call? Am I totally wrong?
Actually, we've had an average summer.
Is it
Finally, we have had an average summer.
Spring was quite wet.
Usually, it's either too cold, too hot, whatever. We're having almost average
New
summer.
England.
Yeah,
So
this is
the
average.
So the weather, if you were going to describe it to somebody,
This is
was it
how a New England summer should be.
weather? Whether you mean like warmer days and cooler nights?
Yeah, this is how a New England summer should be. This
Oh.
is an average summer.
In fact, I found anywhere you go in the world, usually you have warmer days and cooler nights.
Oh, Jay.
Oh, Jay, you go on. Oh, Jay.
You started it.
Yeah. Hey, so 6:36 in the morning. Another song I play every summer that reminds me of summer is from the movie A Man and a Woman, the French movie. It's a classic movie with Anouk Aimée. You know that A Man and a Woman. You know the theme from A Man and a Woman. Da 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 da. Ba, 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 da, ba, da,
Boy meets
ba, ba,
girl.
ba, da.
Girl gets mad at boy.
Yeah,
Boy
yeah.
loses
Well,
girl.
sort of like
Yeah, okay.
da 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 flubba dubba dub flubba dub. That's the heart. Flubba dubba dub flubba dubba dub. Dee, 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 dee. Well, this is from that movie, and
To
it's
all of those of you who don't recognize that, you will hear the real one in a minute.
no, you're
No,
not. I'm
you're
not.
not.
No, I'm not
He's
playing,
not
that
playing
song.
that song.
It's in the movie.
You got to
But-
go find it now.
yeah. On the soundtrack, which is by the great composer Francis Lay, there's this thing called Summer Saravah, Saravah.
Sour balls?
Nope, sour ball.
God.
Sour. Now you got me. Sauerbraten. It's not. Yeah. Now I've Summer Saravah. And this is a wonderful pianist. Usually you hear it like it's Antonio Carlos Jobim or it has this bossa nova feel. But this is this pianist who I found singing or playing with a wonderful singer by the name of Pauline Croze. And the interesting thing about this song is the talking in it is meant to be talked. And so when you listen to this song, there's a talking part, and it talks about the famous writers, it said, of composers. Listen to this, great. It's a great song. Summer Saravah.
Être heureux, c'est plus ou moins ce qu'on cherche. J'aime rire, chanter et je n'empêche pas les gens qui sont bien d'être joyeux. Pourtant s'il est une samba, sans tristesse, c'est un vin qui ne donne pas l'ivresse. Un vin qui ne donne pas l'ivresse. Non, ce n'est pas la samba que je veux. J'en connais que la chanson incommode, d'autres pour qui ce n'est rien qu'une mode, d'autres qui en profitent sans l'aimer. Moi je l'aime et j'ai parcouru le monde en cherchant ses racines vagabondes. Aujourd'hui, pour trouver les plus profondes, c'est la samba chanson qu'il faut chanter. On m'a dit qu'elle venait de Bahia, qu'elle doit son rythme et sa poésie à des siècles de danse et de douleur. Mais quel que soit le sentiment qu'elle exprime, elle est blanche de formes et de rimes. Blanche de formes et de rimes, elle est nègre, bien nègre dans son cœur. Quel que soit le sentiment qu'elle exprime, elle est blanche de formes et de rimes. Elle est nègre, bien nègre dans son cœur. Dans son cœur.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com, offering Xfinity TV, Internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning.
Yes,
It
you can
is,
say wow now.
July.
He turned
2nd.
you up before you.
I know. Well, most people stop talking when the ID is running, and Bob just keeps rolling on.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It's the Westfield on Weekend Show. July 2nd, 2019, as I said. We're having a great morning this morning. It's beautiful out. It's going to be a sunny day. I'll be able to sit out with my 70, what is it? I use 70 SPF. Is that what the
70?
70 is it? Well, I figured it. One for every decade I've lived. For the sunscreen,
Oh
is it?
God.
What is that too much?
No, that's fine, Bob.
Yeah. Well, why do they sell it if it's
Apparently,
if it-
anything over 50 is just useless. But whatever.
Oh, okay. But does that mean?
Wait,
that,
well, what did he say? Anybody that's over 50 is useless?
No,
Did he
any
re-
sunscreen over
any
50 is...
sunscreen over 50 is useless.
Get it right, Jay.
Oh, all right.
I heard it. I heard what you really said.
I really like for summer copper tone. Does everybody remember the smell of copper tone?
All I remember is
The baby commercial?
Yeah, all I remember is the logo they had. Wasn't it a dog?
Yes,
nibbling at the back,
Pulling
of the
pulling the little girl's bottom. What do you call those?
Bikini bottom.
Bikini bottom down. Yeah. But copper tone had a distinctive smell, as I remember it. I can still smell it on the beach, and we used to lather up with copper tone. There were not a
Wasn't
lot.
it like coconut or something?
No, it had another kind of smell to it that was really distinctive. It's hard to. Smells are hard to describe with words, aren't they?
Yes and no, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like if I said to you something burnt, you can immediately smell burnt, like you smell burnt toast.
Yeah.
But the difference between burnt rubber and burnt toast, how do you describe that? You really can't
Describe the taste of milk.
Oh, wow. As opposed to water? See, you
Okay.
can't. It's
To
creamy.
me, milk tastes chalky.
Creamy. But then describe the taste of cream. Chalky.
Yeah.
Nah, then because then
To me,
Chalky is easy. Go back to being a kid,
Bleh,
and
bleh.
your job is to go out and clap the erasers outside. Remember that?
Oh gosh.
And don't clap them against the wall.
And and then those erasers that were really kind of like, you know how when you put fingers on a blackboard,
Yeah.
the eraser dust for me when they were too dirty, they hadn't
There's
been
kids
cleaned in a
today
long
that have
time.
no idea what we're talking about.
That's right, they do. Does anybody make a chalkboard any longer, or is it all?
I don't think so.
No.
They're kind of being completely phased out by whiteboards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whiteboards, or you're on a computer.
And whiteboards are more expensive because the markers cost more than chalk.
Yeah. I have some chalk for street painting. We use chalk, and that's the only place you use chalk now, I guess.
And it's the big. Oh, and I love that. That's the big round chunks of chalk and stuff. The colored chalk. You can do so many cool things with that. Yes, on the sidewalk chalk.
Yeah. Hey, I think this Friday night in downtown, and Mina's Wine and Spirits lot, right next to Mina's Wine and Spirits, there's a concert, if I'm not mistaken, that will be happening from Artworks. I don't know who. They had Reptilian Czar here this past Friday
and
night.
That was a Doors band. Yeah,
Doors band.
Yeah, I drove by, but I was unfortunately I didn't have time to stop, or I would have.
Well, it's kind of hard because Friday nights James wants to have his Friday night martini, so you can't get a martini on the street lately.
Well,
You can't. Where do you go to have a martini on the street? I guess I've got to go to New Orleans or something in order to do that. Yeah,
New Orleans.
New Orleans, as we say. But check out Artworks' website for the Downtown series. I don't exactly know what they're calling it. I think it's
Downtown Live.
Downtown Live, Friday nights. I think it's probably around, is it 5 to 9? I may be wrong.
Actually, it looks like they're taking the week off.
Yeah, 7 to 9.
Oh, 7 to 9.
The next show is July 12th. Is Esperanto.
Oh, that's exactly right.
Because of the holidays, everybody's going away. Everybody's got things.
Oh, I
to do.
forgot
Yeah.
totally. 2 days from now is July 4th.
But today's the country's birthday.
It's the real birthday because because they started signing the Declaration of Independence.
And it took them 2 days to get it done. No, that's not true.
No, I think you're absolutely right.
They started to sign everything, but there was I can't remember the reason. I got to do some digging on this. But today is the actual birthday, but there's a legitimate reason why we celebrate it on the 4th, and I can't remember.
Was it George M. Cohan wrote a song about I was born on the 4th of July?
Yeah, that was probably it, so they changed the date.
Yeah,
because they got to match the song.
I did 1776 for years.
That was a good show.
You like that?
I love the movie.
Oh, isn't that a great movie?
And I love that they used so many of the characters from the original Broadway show in the movie.
Yeah. And you can't get better than Ken Howard and Daniels. What's his name? Jack Daniels? No, that's a drink. His name is Daniels.
I believe they were sipping on some of that.
Yeah, somebody will know. He was on a lot of television shows, and his last name is Daniels.
Jeff Daniels?
What's his name?
Jeff Daniels?
No, that's not it.
No,
No.
from the day.
At any rate, so it's 1776. Now, get this. In rehearsal, we're doing the dress rehearsal.
I actually saw that movie at Radio City Music Hall for the first time.
Oh, you did? What a great place to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, huge. Huge.
6,000 seats in that place.
Yeah.
And it's one. It was built, and it almost went out of business because it was so big. That's an expensive piece of real estate.
Oh
down,
gosh!
down
And you could smoke in their balconies during. They'd have them a
Back
show.
in the day.
They'd have movies, and then they'd have the Rockettes come out between shows.
Yeah,
They're
well,
like
it was
6 times a
originally
day.
going to be a movie house.
That's
But
exactly right.
look at all of the stuff that's been done there.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen a show there, and the last thing I saw there was a Christmas show a few years ago with Marion. She'd never been in there. She'd never seen the Christmas show.
Oh,
I says,
wow.
okay, let's go.
Schlocky,
So-
but wonderful.
Yeah, and
Wonderful,
some of
wonderful.
the same stuff is still done.
Oh, yeah.
that was done
Oh,
from day one.
Absolutely.
But one of the wonderful things about that, if you ever get there, look behind the scenes. They do a little behind the scenes tour, and you get to see some wonderful things. But me, because I'm a behind the scenes guy in theater, they have the technology that runs their stage. The stage levels go up and down there, and that is the staging was all hydraulic. It was lifted, and there's like 6 different sections.
That's right.
Nobody's ever done that before when this was built. This is in the early 1900s. Well, when that was built, that technology was secret. They were using it in the aircraft carriers built back then.
Oh,
And
listen to that.
yeah, it was all kinds. I don't know how they got permission to use it or how they ended up setting all that up, but the hydraulic technology that was used, and is still used today, when they rehabbed that theater some years ago, that's one of the few things that they didn't change because it was built so well back then.
Well, yeah. Well, my spouse, was one of the rockers. There was a time when they had
Rockettes and rockers.
And rockers.
Yes.
And he did, I think, 2 or 3 shows. I know he did a show with Ginger Rogers there. Ginger Rogers with the Rockettes, and then, of course, she's a female star. Oh, Carol Lawrence as well from West
Well,
Side
you
Story.
had to have a male star.
Some male.
That was James.
And there was James.
Yes.
And he always talks about the excitement of riding the elevator
Coming up onto stage,
and then
yeah.
looking out at 6,000 people.
Oh, that's an amazing.
Unbelievable.
I would love to see that view from the stage.
Oh, yeah.
And that's got to be
That's
so
right.
cool.
Well, getting back to 1776, which you saw there at Radio City,
Yes.
I was in the
That's how we got to Radio
McHayden
City.
show. Okay, of 1776. We're in the dress rehearsal.
What part did you play?
I had a smaller part. It was called Sam Chase. I was the representative from Maryland, who was a portly kind of man. I wore a bodysuit, actually, because I was very thin in those days. Nobody would recognize me after
you
the
were
show.
one of the delegates in the
Oh,
hall.
yeah, of
Okay.
course. Yeah. And I ate throughout the entire show because, that was the character thing. So they had on my plate, they had fried chicken every night. And they go to get fried chicken, and
That was your job, is to eat fried chicken.
fried chicken.
Did you
and
have any lines?
Twice on. Oh, of course I had lots
Other
of
than the
lines.
belch?
Oh no, I got one of the bigger laughs in the show, and we'd all vote, and we're in all the singing numbers, etc. It's a really good show for everybody in it because you're on stage the entire time. You see.
Yes.
Well, in the dress rehearsal, they go and they have the part where we're voting on whether America becomes America, and the bells are ringing and all of that, and the declaration is read, and they go, and what say you, Connecticut? What say you, the representative from Virginia? What say you, Sam Chase, representative of Maryland? And I got confused, and what do you vote? And I voted no. In my mind, I don't know where it came from, and the whole show stopped, and they all turned to me and looked, and they said,
Bob just wiped out the Constitution.
I wiped out, and so the man who was
I changed
playing
my mind.
this was a dress rehearsal, so we got away with it. But the man who was playing the Secretary of the Congress said, "Mr. Chase, do you want to reconsider your vote?" And I went, "Oh well, okay, yes." So that's my 1776 July 4th
One of my favorite
story.
lines in that, is when John Hancock, which was the biggest signature on the thing.
Oh yeah,
he was the first.
So
to sign
so
it.
the eyes of the king could read this
Yes.
without his spectacles.
Yes, Yeah, and that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But John Hancock was the first to sign it, and they got into some other argument, and he's going, and finally he stopped. He goes, "Look, can we sign this thing? Because right now mine's the only name on this damn document." Paraphrasing a little bit, but he was all nervous. He goes, "I'm the only one that's going to get hung now."
Oh wow! Hey, I think that's a great. If you want to stay in, it's going to be 90, I think, on Thursday, July 4th here. And if you want to watch a movie, it would be wonderful, I think, to see 1776. Yeah, I'm hearing a voice there, Peter. Do you hear?
I know what it is. He's got something from NASA playing.
Oh, does he hear us?
The Orion launch abort test today.
Yeah, turn it down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's yeah, there we are.
Come on, T-minus 40 seconds.
Oh, is that what you're listening to there?
You flip that on.
It's cool. It's like a little half rocket. No, I'm trying to get it.
During the plus count.
Oh, look at this. So the listeners are listening to us as
no, they're not.
No, they can't see them. I haven't gotten that far yet.
They're trying to figure out what's going on in the background. They stopped listening.
It's actually
to
cool.
us.
It's this little stubby rocket because all they got to do is get it up a couple thousand feet, and then
Where is it? In somebody's backyard here in
Cape
Westfield?
Canaveral.
And what are they doing? What are they putting up?
So they have to test the Orion capsule, the escape system. If the rocket falls apart while it's going up, there's a little tiny rocket on the top. It looks like a little pointy thing, and it pulls the capsule away and pulls the astronauts to safety.
Ah, gotcha.
But it's this little stubby rocket. It actually looks kind of cool.
Wow. Well, folks, tune into. You can watch this at NASA.com or something, right?
Yeah, NASA TV.
NASATV.com. If you want to watch what Peter's watching or listen to what Peter's listening to, that
Jay's
you've been listening
looking
to.
at it. It's pretty stubby. So.
Oh, these stubby rockets. All right. Hey, let's play a song.
Okay.
You know,
let's play a song.
I saw this great television series called Devil at the Crossroads. You've got to see it. It's on, I think, Netflix. If not Netflix, try Amazon. I can never remember which one I watch it on. But Devil at the Crossroads, the story of Robert Johnson, one of the greatest guitarists of all time. And he, strangely enough, is this very young man who doesn't play guitar very well. And he tries to learn with this impresario down in the South. And the guy says, you really need to take lessons or something. So the guy leaves. Robert Johnson leaves, is not seen for a year, returns, and he has developed his own method of playing. And the rumor has it that he sold his soul to the devil in order to be able to be a better guitar player. And this is a wonderful series about it. Actually, he developed a method of playing the guitar that he could play one thing with his top two fingers and another thing with his bottom two fingers. He used the slide guitar in a way that nobody ever had before. So if you want to hear some great music, Google. He only recorded 29 songs. Robert Johnson, probably a name you don't know. But I'm going to play one of his songs. Bonnie Raitt's a real aficionado of Robert Johnson. So here is Robert Johnson's Walking Blues, Bonnie Raitt.
Woke up this morning, I'm feeling around to my shoes. You know that I must have had them walking blues. Woke up this morning, people, I'm feeling around to my shoes. Well, you know that I must have had them walking blues. Feel like blowing my lonesome home. I got up this morning, all I had was gone. You know I feel like blowing my lonesome home. You know I got up this morning, all I had was gone. feeling I'm most ever had. You know, some people tell me these words blues ain't bad. You know they're the worst old feeling I'm most ever had. Elgin moves from his head down to his toes, breaks in on a dollar most anywhere he goes. He's got Elgin movements from his head down to his. Lord, he break in on a dollar most anywhere he goes.
One of our underwriters here at WSKB's Community Radio is Carson Center for Health and Human Services, a nonprofit organization located at 20 Broad Street in Westfield. They provided behavioral health and rehabilitation services in communities throughout Western Massachusetts since 1963. There are services for children, adolescents, adults, families, and couples. You can find them on the web at carsoncenter.org or at 413-572-4132.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes and Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It is July 2nd, 2019, and counting. We're 2 days from July 4th, the great celebration of the founding of America. And I hear that Mr. Trump is going to speak on that day. Unlike other presidents, he is horning his way into the celebration and will be part of it. So we'll see how that
America.
goes. Yeah. America.
No, America.
Oh, is that how he says it? Oh, God help us. I don't know. At any rate. Hey, we are going to be welcoming Mark in a few minutes. Mark Auerbach will be coming.
Minutes, days.
Yeah.
You know, what's
hey, something I hadn't mentioned to you ever on the program, and I always write it and I say, it's left over. And I always write it down because I want to talk about it, is that 01085 bike rack in front of Circuit Coffee. Have you seen that?
First time I saw it there, I'm trying to figure out what it is. And it took me 3 days before I figured out that it was 01085.
Oh, God. 01085 is the zip code of Westfield for all those who don't know. And
if you don't know, what planet are you on?
Back in the 413.
Yes, yeah.
Back in the 413. No, I'm trying to figure out what is that thing there. I knew it was a bike rack because I saw a bike tied up to it. But I'm going, why all the funny shapes?
For all you folks out in Wisconsin, the numbers are like 3 feet tall. So it's really cool in the center of our town to have our zip code right there in case you want to post a letter or something, it's right there, 01085.
In case you forgot.
Yeah.
So, I
Circuit
think-
Coffee had something to do with
Yeah,
that.
they
I think
did.
they
They
helped
did.
to finance it.
They
And-
split it with the Westfield redevelopment. No, not redevelopment.
There was some kind of grant that they got.
Yeah, they got a grant. Yeah.
Community
It was-
development.
But, you know,
grant,
I think
yeah.
they've started something cool. I think that every post office across the land should have a bike rack that has the particular zip code for that post office.
I love it. I love it. And, you know, I think it could become one of those things that you sort of drape yourself over if you want a shot, if you're a visitor and you want to say, hey, where am I? You drape over the 1085 down there at Circuit Coffee. I'm really, if you were wanted a symbol of Westfield, what do you think of when you think of a symbol of Westfield? Oh, no, a symbol. He
That would
looks
be-
at me like
that would be you, Bob.
This old 73-year-old blue-eyed wonder right here. No, I am
where's
not.
That, where's that head
Hey-
shot we wanted?
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, you guys remember the 413 music video?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
I have that. You know, if you guys
No,
want
don't run it.
No. Hey.
It talks about the 413.
No, don't run it. No.
But what I would love to know is what you think the symbol for Westfield should be. Should it be the black squirrel?
No.
Should it be the tower, the clock tower that was built during the last decade?
No.
No. The two river bridges?
The twin bridges.
The bridges, I think, should be the thing.
That keeps showing up as a common theme in a lot of things.
That's part of my Channel 15 logo.
Yeah, and the twin bridges looking down from the north. In fact, I think there's a shot from imagine up on the railroad bridge looking down into Half Mile Falls Park, and just a wide shot that shows the bridges. I think it even shows part of the old train station too.
Yeah.
I just love that shot.
For the Wisconsin folks, there is one bridge going out of town. There's another bridge going into town. They're both this lime green. No, it's not lime. It's what color would you call that?
Icky green.
It's a icky green. Oh, I love that. It's industrial green, but it's not. It's a pastel industrial.
It's
green.
what they painted old bridges back in the day.
Yeah. Hey, and right next to it is the Columbia Greenways bike trail bridge.
Yeah, and
That's an old
that's-
bike railroad trestle that goes across.
That's continuing through downtown in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and there's a big esplanade there. And last week, Don Podolsky gave out the news that the fire pits on the esplanade are going to be able to be working this fall. So
Fire
we
pits
can go
will-
down and make s'mores. Some
roast
more.
marshmallows.
Yes, toast the marshmallows.
Roasty toasty.
So you're voting now for the two bridges as the symbol of Westfield.
I'm not voting. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. All right.
I didn't know we were voting.
No, I just was wondering.
Is, is there a referendum that I wasn't aware of?
No. I'm starting one right now. The black squirrel for me is a symbol, but you don't want a rodent as your symbol. You know.
I like that one right
They're
there, Jay.
cute.
Yeah. Oh, there we are. If you're watching on Channel 15 or you tune in on westfieldtv.org, and you can see the two bridges here. We'll get out of the way. See, there they are. There.
Yeah,
How
that's from
beautiful
Bands,
is-
Brews, and Barbecue.
Wow, look at how beautiful that is. And there's a tent right there that you had something to do with that, Jay. See that tent right there.
Yeah, I put up the tent.
Yeah, that's exactly
I
right.
cannot tell a lie.
It's a beautiful.
Actually, that's my board in there, isn't it?
There we
It
are.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
All right.
lovely. It's lovely. If you haven't been down and walked around that area and you're from Westfield or out in the environs, it's a really beautiful walk, and that river is just great to look at from the bridges as well as the esplanade right
It looks
right
like
down
a
there.
storm is brewing.
Ooh, a real storm.
No, we did
You do remember that day, don't you?
Actually, yeah, now that you mention it.
Was it a stormy day?
It was a dark
It was a
and stormy
dark and
night.
stormy day. We
Yeah,
were
and-
doing a concert on the river. Was this when the dedication of the bridge took place?
No, this is when we did Bands, Brews, and Barbecue.
Oh,
Remember
that's
King Country?
right. Oh,
And, yeah, and it's really the only show we've ever done there. I do want to do more there. The
Yeah.
problem is there's no power there right now.
Oh.
It wasn't there. Actually, there wasn't then either.
Oh, you had to put a generator
That's
in?
better.
Yeah, I ran
there we
ran it with a generator.
Yeah.
It's out of focus. Fix that, will you?
A little out of focus.
Yeah,
but-
well, I'm trying to do this on the fly, okay?
To those of you who have not taken the moment to stop there, more people drive across that bridge and don't even have a clue that exists down there.
Yeah.
Pull in and park underneath the train bridge, underneath the train trestle there. Take 10 minutes and walk down into that park. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite venues here in town.
Yeah, it's a great place. You could go and have a picnic there, and the kids will love it. It's just great. And there's that beautiful women's temperance park. The temperance ladies back in early part of the century, those that wanted us not to drink, had a little park there, and there's a water fountain. I think it says the water fountain says drink water, not wine, or something like that. You know, that heathen rum, etc., etc., etc.
I'm trying to think of all the things I want to say. There's a whole bunch of one-liners, but there's not one of them that wouldn't get me in trouble with women. So it's not going to happen.
Right. Very good. Yeah, Jay. Keep that mouth shut there, Jay. And, hey, I got to give a shout-out to the princes, these lovely, not the princes from England, Harry and William, but the princes who I met. They're the lovely man and his wife at the Stop and Shop, and they stopped me to tell me that they listened to the show and they loved the stories, etc.,
those
etc.
are the other two.
Those are the two. The princes are listening. And also to Marcia Sanford. Oh, gosh. Last week I wanted to mention that 2 weeks ago I had a lovely lunch at Marcia's house. Have you ever been to Marcia's? Oh, what a great place that is.
Peter, have you ever been invited to Marcia's house?
No, Marcia Sanford, who is such a wonderful philanthropist. We sat out in her gazebo and had a great afternoon out there. She's a great supporter of Westfield on weekends, and we had a lovely afternoon there. So thank you, Marcia. She's got over her mantle a picture of the cake. In one of her rooms. She's got several fireplaces. I think there might be 7 fireplaces, if I'm not mistaken. But one of the fireplaces in the great room has the Danny Nason picture of the fireworks in the background.
Yeah,
and then the cake that is right down on the green there.
That's going to be another one of those things that is just everyone's going to remember the 350 because of all the events and of course the cake that's been there. Everybody's got their own picture of that.
That's right.
And this isn't a shot at anybody, but did you notice there's a couple of candles burned out on the cake?
Yeah. Hey, Bob?
Yes, my friend.
Guess who's on the phone?
Who is on the phone? Say hello.
Hello, Bob.
There
hello,
he
Jay.
is.
Hello, Peter.
Hey, you made
Oh,
Good
Mark Auerbach. Oh, you just, we were talking about the candles. Were you the one that blew the candles on the big cake in
Somebody
the center
blew
of
the candles
Westfield?
out. Yeah.
Out. There are 2 candles that are out.
I had nothing to do with that because at the time the big celebration was happening, I was locked up.
Wait,
you were
wait,
up the river.
We need to elaborate clarify what that really means.
Yeah.
I was in rehab during the 350.
Our big celebration, you were in rehab, but let's clarify that for it.
We still need to clarify.
Yeah.
Got negative.
You weren't in Brattleboro by chance, were you?
I was not in Brattleboro. I was not at the Betty Ford Center. I was at the Sosin Rehabilitation fixing my broken arm and broken leg.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. A long haul. Are you out of there? Are you now at the pool in Longmeadow?
No, I'm not. I've gotten a couple of afternoon passes to go to the pool, but I don't get out until a week from tomorrow.
You don't get out much.
Oh, my gosh. You've been there. You must be the youngest person in that place. I mean, you're one of the younger people there, aren't you?
By decades, except that there are people my age that have knee and hip replacements and, are here for a short period of time, but I'm the one that's been here the longest.
Yeah, you've been there for like 2 or 3 months now, haven't you?
I was operated on April 15th, and I arrived here on the 19th.
Wow. April to May, May to June, June to July, 3 months.
By now you can count
Almost
the
3
spots
months.
on the
Yeah.
wallpaper. You've got it memorized.
Yeah, but you're
do.
coming home next week. Is that what you just told us?
I'm being released next week from tomorrow, and then I'll get physical therapy at home,
Uh-huh.
and then be able to go out like around the 1st of August.
How great is that? Oh,
Well,
fabulous.
it'll
Yeah.
be good to have you back out.
Yeah, yeah. And will your arm, is it useful now? Are you able to use it as you did in the past, or how's that coming along?
Well, the arm healed before the leg,
Got it.
but it's my left hand, and I write with my left hand, so I can't write.
Holy.
Ooh.
So how do you write all those, or how do you compose, I guess is the word. How do you compose all those wonderful articles that you write for the Westfield News and all those reviews that you do?
Well, first of all, I haven't reviewed anything since my accident, but
Ah.
I'm turning in a weekly art speed column,
Mm-hmm.
and I have speak text on my tablet, so I dictate it and then go in and edit it.
Oh, gotcha. So this is something that I've never done. Is you talk in and it comes up and you're able to, everything that you say is then typed in there. And-
Exactly, including every and well and
Oh, God help me.
stuff like that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be for me then. The oh my God King or the King of America. No.
Well, I'm the king, even on the radio, and lots of come out, and then it types out what it thinks it hears, and sometimes I use words that it creates a new one.
Oh yes. Oh gosh. Hey, Mark. You know we're here at Westfield Technical Academy, and
I know. I can't wait to do shows there.
oh, you can't. Well, yeah, now I'm looking at this camera, and they have. I'm a big.
Jay
a
made a big flying head of
a
Bob.
giant talking head of me. They've got the camera focused.
Mark, it's just what he always wanted.
Yeah. As I was saying earlier, you could swim in my pores. Yes, yeah. This is really frightening for the kids at home. Huh? Yes. Yeah. Hey, so at any oh no, please, yeah. No, bring me there we are. Bring me to a decent
I can remote
size.
Zoom, so
Oh, you can. You've got to watch the show on Channel 15 if you're not, or you can stream it at Westfield TV. Is it .org or .com, Peter?
WestfieldTV.org.
WestfieldTV.org. We're also archived at Yahoo.com, and you put
YouTube.
YouTube.com. Oh,
Jay, what do you do? What
oh, there.
Jay doing?
Oh my
That's
God.
it.
Yeah, there. Oh, there we are. That's much better, Jason. All right. Hey, Mark.
Mr. Platt.
Yes,
let me
we
just
got.
tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm Peter Coles and Dennis Akins
Yeah.
and I are going on Friday up to Cranwell in Lenox, and we're going to tape 2 programs with the Capitol Steps.
I love this. I was talking to Denny, and he was telling me how excited he was to be able to do this. And in fact, you can answer a question because we were at Pittsfield to see Into the Woods at Berkshire Theater this past week.
That's Barrington Stage.
At Barrington Stage, I'm sorry, yeah, Barrington Stage in Pittsfield. And we stopped at Cranwell because James wanted to have one of their rainbow margaritas on the lawn. And we drove in, and it had all this construction going on there. And it didn't look like it was open, but it is open. Must have taken a wrong turn someplace.
It is open. They're doing massive renovations and rehab to the entire area. The Capitol Steps perform across the street on their driving range in a place called the Harvest Barn. But after this summer, Cranwell has been purchased by Miraval, which is a series of resorts managed by Hyatt, and it will change its name after complete rehab.
Oh, got it. I see. So it will no longer be known as Cranwell, and it will be
it'll be called the Miraval Resort at Cranwell. And Miraval is a brand for wellness retreats.
I got it. Yeah.
Like that.
Wow. Hey, well, I got to ask Peter. There, we're hearing the that what you're listening to,
Bob,
Peter. You could.
the way I'm getting it down here is so convoluted that's the best we can do, honestly.
Oh no, I was
There's going
here.
to be a little bit of side tone.
Oh no, I was getting. It sounded like a rocket going up or something.
No, there's a little bit of an echo in the phone, but
I got it.
Because I'm running it through 3 different boards. There's gonna. Is it okay for you, Mark? Can you hear us? Okay.
I can hear you.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a little bit echo on our end, Bob. So it's no big deal.
I couldn't figure out what that was, and
Yeah.
I wondered if folks were wondering at home.
They'll hear it a little bit, but that's. I mean, it's clear and it's you can hear them just fine.
Great.
So we're
Hey,
going to run with that.
Mark, the Capitol Steps are a group of Washington folks. Are there now, or they're actually New York actors now, right?
No, they're all Washington-based. There's about 20 some odd people in the company. Some of them had worked on Capitol Hill before they joined the Steps, and some of them were actors who auditioned.
Hello. Oh,
Hello.
there you are. That's so much better. Hello.
So anyway, some of them auditioned.
Mm-hmm.
And there's right now 3 companies. One is at Cranwell, one is in Washington, and the other one is touring.
I get it. Okay, so this in the summer they have a residence, and if you were going to go up, do you call Cranwell itself, or do you mentioned the name of the bar? Was it the Harbor Bar or something?
The Harvest Barn.
Harvest Barn.
Right. And to get tickets to a performance, just go to Cranwell's website.
I see. Okay, wonderful. Hey, you've been previewing some things in your columns, and I wondered if you could help us to know what we've got to look forward to. I know I mentioned I went to Great Barrington, or actually, it used to be Great Barrington. Barrington Stage is not in Great Barrington, is it? No, it's
not. Barrington Stage started in Sheffield at the high school,
and
then they moved up to a theater that had been the Berkshire Public Theater and had been a movie theater before, and that's their home base in Pittsfield. And then they have a second stage around the corner on Linden Street.
I see. Okay, I saw another bit. And is that second stage, do they do shows in there as well?
Oh, they do shows all year.
Oh, yeah, really, in that smaller space. I had no idea.
In the smaller space. And then there's another theater there where they do cabarets.
I understand. Okay. Well, I saw Into the Woods, and I've got to say that if you like Stephen Sondheim and you like fairy tales, but you like fairy tales that are sort of fractured a bit, but fractured in a way for adults, I would suggest that you go to see Into the Woods. One suggestion, though, is you do not want to bring your kids to the show, or if you bring them and they're young, they can enjoy the first act, but the second act really tells the story after what we know as Grimm's fairy tales happens. So I would suggest that that folks not take their kids, but if you're going to take your kids because you think it's a fairy tale musical, you only see the first act. Wouldn't you've seen the Into the Woods before, so you know what I'm talking about.
Into the Woods, and I think that if older kids will really like it,
right?
But it's not children's theater.
Not at all. And interestingly, in this one, the witch is played by a man. And it's he's from Broadway. He's got this incredible voice, sort of like Jennifer Hudson. So there's a surprise. I'm not going to give it away, but it changes the dynamic a little bit. He's a wonderful singer from Broadway. His name is Michael something, spelled Mykal. Oh, wish I knew the name. But I really highly recommend going to see Into the Woods.
Well, I it's something it was on my wish list for the summer.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I won't be able to travel until it's closed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you were able to travel, where else would you go? What else would you see?
Well, I am going to try to travel to see The Skin of Our Teeth at Berkshire Theater Group, which opens the weekend after the 4th of July. And it's a Thornton Wilder play. He won the Pulitzer Prize for it.
Right.
Tallulah Bankhead and Frederick March starred on it on Broadway.
Uh-huh.
And it's a fascinating show about a couple who live in New Jersey from the age of the dinosaurs to the future.
Oh, I know this, and it's very interesting that Thornton Wilder wrote this piece because he wrote it without knowing what the future was going to be, and it's kind of it really tells where we're going in a way, huh?
It does, and it isn't produced that frequently, and most people know Thornton Wilder from either Our Town, or they read his novel, The Bridge of St. Louis Ray.
Oh, I remember this.
Both of them won Pulitzers.
Yes, yeah. And
he wrote this play, The Matchmaker, which he based on a German play, and The Matchmaker was turned into Hello, Dolly.
That's exactly right, Thornton Wilder. So now, Skin of Our Teeth is now in at the Berkshire Theater,
and group at the Stockbridge, the Fitzpatrick main stage. It opens not this weekend, but the following weekend.
Uh-huh. Do they ever bring any of their shows to New York afterward?
Well, they've got a show right now. It's called Rock and Roll Man. It's the story of the disc jockey Alan Freed, who created the word rock and roll.
I remember this.
Broadway bound.
And that is Broadway bound, but you can see that at the Colonial, I think, right?
That's at their Colonial Theater stage.
Yeah.
And their website for all of their productions is berkshiretheatergroup.org.
Uh-huh. The Alan Freed was a real, how would I say? He was the precursor to our modern Clive Davises, somebody who really had put his stamp on music in America and found a lot of the famous people.
Programming that included blues, what we call rock and roll, a whole series of things. And he started off in Cleveland in the early 50s. And he was one of the most important musical producers of his time. And unfortunately, he got caught up in a payola scandal.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah. Explain to folks who are too young to remember what payola was.
Well, payola was that a record producer or an actor or artist paid off a disc jockey to play their music on the air. And it was all done under the table.
So some of those big hits were actually made hits because the disc jockeys were playing them all the time, and they became hits because they were played all the time. And it was this huge scandal. So I guess they're going to cover that in this musical, right?
They do. And Alan Campbell from Sunset Boulevard on Broadway plays Alan Freed.
Uh-huh.
And George Wendt from Cheers plays the FBI guy who takes him down.
Oh, very, very interesting. And it's got original music as well as songs from the era that...
It's got some original music that ties together hits of the day.
Ah, very interesting. Well, right now at 7:27 in the morning, we're going to play one of those hits. Actually, it's Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Can you answer that question, Mark? Why do fools fall in love? Do you know?
I have no idea because I'm a fool.
Falling in love with love is falling for make-believe. Falling in love with love is playing the fool. This is Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, 1956 doo-wop. Why do fools fall in love? This is from Rock and Roll Man.
Why do fools fall in love? Why do birds sing?
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes and Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning, and it is July 2nd, 2019, and counting. My name is Bob Plass. I'm here with the kitten of the keys. Meow. He's behind the board. There he is. And Jay Pagluka is someplace in the building. My trusty, dusty, lost psycho. He's waving from me from the booth. The booth, as we call it here. Westfield Technical Academy. Up on the hill, it's a beautiful school, and we are thrilled to be here. This doesn't mean that we are lost our association with Westfield State University's radio club. It just means that we now have a television studio and a radio studio all in one. And I think that Peter will tell us that the Westfield Technical Academy is developing a program of broadcasting arts to train students here. And I think it's going to be one of those places that you will really want to send your kids to, because they'll learn things that they ordinarily wouldn't get to do, or they'll participate in things like running a camera or having your own talk show or whatever, you know. But, hey, we got Mark Auerbach on the phone. Mark, where are you? Are you there?
I am sitting at a window that I can see my pool in the distance.
There's something very melancholy about that, Mark. You know.
Well, to tell you the truth, some friends have gotten me out on a day pass to go to the pool. I've been 4 times.
Holy gosh!
I can't go in the water. I have to wheelchair it over. But it's just so great to go there.
Oh, my gosh, yes, yeah. Well, I'm so thrilled you're going to be out next week and back to hopefully semi-normal, if that's the word, and we'll look forward to that. Now, Mark, I've been noticing on Broadway, they've been closings galore. All these shows are closing, yet they're having a very good summer on Broadway. Explain to me what's happening there.
Well, some of the shows, Kiss Me Kate, for example, was only playing a limited run. So it was scheduled to close on a specific date when it opened, actually. And some of them are victims of not being recognized at the Tony Awards. And the case of that is The Prom. But The Prom got picked up for movie rights, and Meryl Streep's going to star in the movie version.
I know, and with James Corden of all people. So this ought to be great. It won all kinds of great reviews. Well, it garnered great reviews when it opened. So I'm thrilled that even though it's closing on Broadway, we're still going to see it. And they're doing a national tour, am I right?
They're starting a national tour.
Yeah, explain.
And the thing about King Kong.
Yeah, King Kong is closing. Yeah.
Yeah. King Kong got horrible reviews. And it's a very expensive show to run. It was so technical that unless they could fill it up, there was no way they could run through the summer. And the tourists are flocking to see other shows.
Yeah, well, I could have told them long ago that King Kong just doesn't make a musical, as far as I can see. Although the giant puppet that they created for King Kong, it would seem to me that they would want to bring it on tour, sort of like in the movie King Kong, where they've got this giant thing caged and then it goes on a rampage and eats Chicago or something. Maybe that's...
the problem is
that
the puppet require 20 some odd people to operate it, and they would need to be in a theater for a couple of weeks just to load that show in.
Oh.
So nobody's going to make money on it.
Oh, I see. So would you say then that it really is too cost prohibitive to tour? That's why a smaller show works, right?
Yeah, and the other thing is there are a lot of shows waiting to come to New York and waiting for theaters to become available.
Uh-huh.
Now, for example, Moulin Rouge, which
Right.
tried out in Boston, is now in previews. And Jagged Little Pill, which tried out last year in Cambridge at the ART, is coming into Broadway, but needs a theater.
Oh, so the shows that have been planned for Broadway need theaters, so producers then look at shows that are not doing well and close them so that they can bring in a show that perhaps will do better. Is that what it is?
Basically, that's the thing. Most shows in their contract with the theater state that if the box office take falls below a certain point, their lease can be terminated.
I understand. Uh-huh. Well, I'm sorry to see The Prom, and I'm sorry to see Kiss Me Kane and King Kong go. There are some others, I think, that closed as well, some straight shows, songs without music that are closing.
Yeah, there were several. Many of them were like Network were scheduled to close. Some of them, like Glenda Jackson and King Lear, closed earlier than expected.
Right.
But, plays don't generally do well in the summer months because that's tourist season.
Ah.
And tourists want a big musical.
Yes. Yeah. So if you're going to New York in the summer, you're bringing your kids. You're not going to bring them to a straight show. Yeah. I guess
well, you
that's
would because To Kill a Mockingbird is breaking.
Because every kid reads the wonderful book by Harper Lee, and they've seen the movie, and so to see it on the stage, that's going to have a long, long run. I bet
it is. And the Harry Potter show is a sellout, and that's a play with music.
Yeah, but, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, I think it's called. Is that right?
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that Moulin Rouge stars Aaron Tveit, and he was in company last year at Barrington Stage at this very same time.
Yeah, he is. He's going to be a major star.
Yeah, I think he also appears on the TV in a show on television as well, I think, right?
He does, and his co-star is Karen Olivo, who won a Tony Award for West Side Story several years ago.
Ah, gotcha. Well, hey, I'm going to play a song from Santino Fontana. Do you know that name?
Santino Fontana got the Tony Award this year for his role in Tootsie.
That's right. And Laura Osnes, another great performer on Broadway, she and Santino in this excerpt from I think that they're in a cabaret. They're singing a song from Into the Woods by Stephen Sondheim called...
And they co-starred in Cinderella.
Oh, Laura Osnes. Oh, they co-starred in Cinderella. That's right. So here they are, and they're singing It Takes Two. This is a kind of wonderful... listen to the lyrics of this. Stephen Sondheim's a brilliant Shakespeare-like composer, lyricist. Here we go.
You've changed, you're daring, you're different in the woods, more mature, more sharing, you're getting us through the woods. If you could see, you're not the man who started, and much more open-hearted than I knew you to be.
It takes two, I thought one was enough, it's not true. It takes two of us, you came through. When the journey was rough, it took you. It took two of us, it takes care. It takes patience and fear and despair to change. Though you'll swear you'll change, who can tell if you do? It takes two.
You've changed. You're thriving. There's something about the woods. Not just surviving. You're blossoming in the woods. Back home, I fear we'd stay the same forever. And then out here, you're passionate, charming, considerate, clever.
To begin, but then once you've begun, it takes two of us, it's no fun. But what needs to be done, you can do. When there's two of you, if I dare, it's because I'm becoming aware of us. As a pair of us, each accepting our share of what's there. We've changed, we're strangers. I'm meeting you in the woods. Who minds what dangers? I know we'll get past the woods. And once we're past, let's hope the changes last. Beyond the woods, beyond witches and slippers and hoods. Just the two of us beyond the lies. Safe at home with our beautiful prize. Just the few of us. It takes trust. It takes just a bit more when we're done. We want four, we had none. We got three. We need one. It takes two.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It is July 2nd, 2019 and counting. And I'm Bob Plass. I'm here at the studios of Westfield Technical Academy, Studio 120, I think it's called. And
that's exactly what it's called.
Yeah.
Because we're actually in room 120.
Oh, we're in room 120, but it's Studio 120.
Yeah, well, Patrick was trying to name this place Pete's Playground, and I really didn't take a shine to that, so Studio 120 stuck.
I love it. And it's got 3 cameras. We got
Look, you have a curtain behind you now, Bob.
Yeah, and I loved it. So if you're watching on television now, we've got this blue screen so you can turn it into anything, and I'm sitting in front of a beautiful burgundy screen. I love this backdrop. This is great.
Thank Kenny for that one.
Yeah, and when Mark Auerbach is able to join us, he's going to love it as well. Mark is on the phone. You're calling directly from the rehab center in Longmeadow, Mark, where you will be out in a week. And hey, Marco, I read in the newspaper about the Paramount Theater in Springfield. Incredible.
Yeah, that's exciting news that the Paramount is going to be renovated. And it's in a building that was called the Massasoit Hotel. And the people that manage the Red Lion Inn have been brought on to manage that hotel when it's renovated.
It's the Fitzpatrick family from the Red Lion Inn. I think they also had something to do with the renovation of Blantyre Castle, if I'm not mistaken.
And they've done a lot of work in the Berkshires. And a lot of this renovation and art stuff, it comes courtesy of a major arts figure who passed away yesterday.
Oh, tell
David
us.
Starr, the publisher of the Republican newspaper.
David Starr. In Springfield, he and his wife Bonnie. Was it Bonnie Starr?
Peggy.
Peggy Starr.
Peggy.
Oh, gotcha. Peggy and David Starr were philanthropists, bar none, in Springfield. I don't know where they got their. Was it from publishing? David Starr. That's
David
where.
Starr, if he grew up, his career started at Newhouse, which is Condé Nast.
Right.
And he was sent to the Republican, and then this group became known as Advanced Publications, and they not only do print, but they do media, social media. And he was a major executive there until he died yesterday at the age of 96.
96. God bless him. Oh, wonderful. I'm sorry that he died because he was well known in the Springfield area as being someone who really had, foresight and he really supported the arts in our town. Was he a mentor of yours, Mark?
He mentored me when I came to Springfield initially to work at the Symphony. And then he and Peggy were involved with WFCR, which became New England Public Radio. And they both were wonderful to me. They were like second parents.
Oh, well, my condolences, really, really. So he would have loved the idea of the Paramount Theater being renovated in downtown Springfield, as we've been talking about, and this Massasoit Hotel. So the building, apparently, the Paramount Theater was really part of this Massasoit Hotel, and part of that was demolished to make the theater in 1926. And it's this grand. Have you ever been inside the Paramount? I mean, it's like...
I was in it about 6 years ago when WGBY produced a special called Together in Song.
Oh, I remember this.
Sadly, the theater was falling apart.
But it's grand. I mean, it's like the Ambassador Theater in New York, that they made movie theaters to be these palaces, sort of like a movie palace. So, well, I wonder if the renovation will bring that back, and they'll have regular shows in there, or I know it's seats.
I would expect they would. In fact, when I first came to Springfield, I saw the national tour of Chicago there with Jerry Orbach.
Of all people, yes. Oh, gosh. And I saw, believe it or not, Fiorello. It was probably the first show that I ever saw from a proscenium stage, on a proscenium stage. And that was there, back when I was in high school, so in the 60s. And then I was there the night that police raided the joint because O Calcutta was supposed to be presented. And it was like this telecast from New York, and it was the time that they were doing all of these telecasts of Broadway musicals. So we bought tickets thinking, O Calcutta, which is a milestone in the history of Broadway theater. Really lousy show, incidentally, right? But it's a milestone because it had nudity in it. And so consequently, O Calcutta then is brought to the screens throughout the country, except all of us who had paid money to see the show. The screen came on, it started, and then the police raided, and we were given our money back and sent home. Did you ever hear that story?
Wow.
Yeah. How things have changed. Is there nudity on Broadway now much? Do they use that?
There is, but it doesn't really cause a big stir.
Yeah, I know that on television programs, oftentimes now on network and Amazon, you are. I'm always surprised to see the idea that we are watch these shows have lots of nudity in them, and they're broadcast throughout the day now on networks, on Netflix and Amazon. So our children are being exposed to bodies a little bit earlier than I suppose they should. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if it's essential to the plot and it makes sense. I can sort of condone it. If it's there just to sell tickets or get viewership, I think it's not a great idea.
Yeah, and that was the idea behind Kenneth Tynan's "Oh Calcutta." The nudity was the big thing. Nobody had ever seen nudes on Broadway, and suddenly he was writing about it and in the show. So that's one of the reasons why it was canned. But this Paramount Theater, I think, will maybe help to boost the attendance of theater in our area. We'll have the Berkshires, then we'll have the Paramount Theater, and then Jay is doing this wonderful thing in Westfield throughout the winter months. All these tribute acts are going to appear once a month, I think, beginning in September, and other bands besides tribute acts at the Women's Club. So that's really, really so exciting. So, hey, Mark, what else have you got on your docket? What is the first thing you're going to do when you get out of rehab?
Well, when I get out of rehab, I still won't be very mobile. So I'm going to be going home, getting physical therapy at home. I may go to see a show or two if I can manage it in a wheelchair or with a walker. So I'm not really planning to go back to work until the middle of August.
I see. But your work entails promoting lots of people. Am I right? You do Capital Steps?
The only client I'm working with until I get back on my feet is the Capital Steps.
I see. But you also, don't you have something to do with Mike Thornton as well?
Mike Thornton is one of the stars of the Capitol Steps, and he plays presidents from Reagan to Trump. And he also produces and books tour dates for the Capitol Steps. So he and I have worked together for years because often when he books a show, he'll ask me to do the local press for it. He's got this really great career also as a jazz singer. And
well, I heard this.
Oddly enough, is making his debut this month in London at one of the major jazz clubs there. He just released an album called Homeward.
And it's a really good album. I listened to a couple of cuts last night on YouTube, and I thought, geez, I got to play this. I wondered, are you going to help promote his career in England, or how does that work?
No. I've helped him before when he recorded a couple of pieces for this album, and he wanted to do it before a live audience, and he did it in the Berkshires. And this is a couple of years ago.
I see.
The album was a long time being made.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to play a cut from this album. You can hear the whole thing on YouTube. Mike Thornton, and he's going to sing this song from How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. I Believe in You. And
let me interject something.
Yeah, please.
If you're originally from Windsor, Connecticut, you'd know the Thornton family because Mike grew up there, and his career started at Hart School of Music.
In Boston? Or is that Hartford?
In Hartford.
Hart School of Music. And the other one, Berkeley is the other one in Boston. And so those are the two big schools of music in our area, I suppose, right?
I would think so. Hart is really good, and they have an affiliation with Hartford Stage and all of that good stuff.
So let's listen to the Hart School of Music graduate Mike Thornton sing a song from the Broadway musical How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. I Believe in You. It's got a great jazz beat to it, and the orchestra or the combo that he's got is first rate.
You have the cool, clear eyes of a seeker of wisdom and truth. Yet there's that upturned chin and the grin of impetuous youth. Oh, I believe in you. I believe in you. I hear the sound of good, solid judgment whenever you talk. Yet there's that bold, brave spring of the tiger that quickens your walk. Oh, I believe in you. I believe in you. And when my faith in my fellow man all but falls apart, I've but to feel your hand grasping mine, and I take heart to see the cool, clear eyes of a seeker of wisdom and truth. Yet with that slam, bang, tang, reminiscent of gin and vermouth. Oh, I believe in you. I believe in you. And when my faith in my fellow man all but falls apart, I've but to feel your hand grasping mine, and I take heart. I take heart to see the cool, clear eyes of a seeker of wisdom and truth. Yet with that slam, bang, tang, reminiscent of gin and vermouth. Oh, I believe in you. I believe in you.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning, and it is July 2nd, 2019, and counting. We've had a great 2 hours. You've wasted another 2 hours, everyone. And, hey, Mark Auerbach, I'm thrilled that you're getting out of the rehab center back into the community. And if you wanted folks to go someplace or see a show or do something, what would you want them to do this week on the 4th of July week?
Well, I think that there are several things that people could do. There's a musical called Because of Winn-Dixie, a premiere down at Goodspeed that people might like. Rock and Roll Man, the Alan Freed story, is at Berkshire Theater Group, Into the Woods at Barrington Stage, and the Capitol Steps at Cranwell.
There's lots to do. There's lots to do. And that's not including McHayden's Grease. And that is in Hudson, New York. That's where I started. And Grease is there starting on July 4th. And we also have Danny Eaton's Majestic Theater, which is all summer long, has all kinds of, I think, tribute acts at the Majestic Theater in West Springfield. So it looks like it's going to be a great summer here. Marco, next time we talk, you might even be in the studio for all we know, huh?
Well, I'm certainly hoping.
Yeah, yeah.
Watch for Peter Coles and me in July on Fridays at 8 o'clock beginning the 19th when we have a Capitol Steps special that we're going to tape on Friday at Cranwell.
I love it. I love it. Mark, be well. Talk to you soon. Hey, everybody. I wanted you to know that Ed Sheeran's got a new album out. It's actually probably his 6th album of collaborations. It's called Number 6 Collaborations. And it's out, I think, this coming week. It's Ed Sheeran's Beautiful People. He's singing this with Khalid. We all are beautiful people. But the people that he talks about, the Hollywood types that we probably don't want to be. Beautiful people. Ed Sheeran, hey, get out there and volunteer. I've got to go to Ken's Den where we're going to talk Big Brother, among other things. So see you soon. Get out there and volunteer, everyone.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes and Noble College Bookstore in the Ely